What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be and welcome back to the mobile gaming recap for the entire month of July. But not to fear, in August we're going to get back to at least a bi-weekly schedule. As long as the games keep coming, the mobile gaming recap will be right behind it. So without any further ado, let's get into today's episode of the mobile gaming recap. So let's start off today's episode with what I consider to be the biggest global launch for the month of July, Elune. Now Elune is brought to you by Gameville, and I know a lot of people right before this game came out, they were looking at the game a little sideways. They're like, uh-oh, is Gameville gonna pull a Nexon? What is going on here, YouTube? Now let me just give you my opinion on Gameville as a whole, but first I gotta give you a disclaimer. Gameville and I have a pretty strong working relationship. They are constantly giving me coupon codes in order to kind of make videos for their game, so throwing that out there ahead of time. Even though that doesn't really paint my opinion, I know people want to know. But with all that being said, I have no fear that Gameville is going to take care of this game proper as long as they repeat what they did with Air of Light. Now, if you guys don't know the story behind Air of Light, that game came back from the brink of death thanks to Gameville listening to the community, doing massive changes, having fantastic sales, and a tremendous foundation when it comes to free to play. So if they can replicate 63.5% of what they did with Air of Light with Elune, I think we're gonna be okay. And that is a little bit more solidified with me just recently, as they did release some summer costumes which do cost real life cash but did not have stats attached. I was really kind of worried. I was like, please don't attach stats to these costumes, and they did. So far it's looking pretty good as far as I'm concerned thus far. Now as far as gameplay is concerned, if you played games like Overhit, if you played games like Air of Light, maybe even a little bit of Summoner's Wars, this is going to be one of those hero collectors that you do kind of keep on your computer or your phone, kind of auto grinding, doing affinity quests and things of that nature. But there is a really good degree of manual gameplay involved when it comes to boss battles, when it comes to PvP, and I assume the upcoming world bosses as well. So this game has a lot of personality, a lot of character, a lot of really interesting designs as well. So Elune, hey, give this game a try. I think you might really enjoy it, especially if you're looking for a new hero collector to call your home. So the next game up is Astral Chronicles. Now this is a brand new hero collector that took a little twist on the normal format. Now most hero collectors are node based, where you go from node to node to node, 3-star in each one along the way. Astral Chronicles opted for more of like a quasi open world effect, where you can explore towns and cities and caves and dungeons, and you can also see other players in real time doing the same exact thing. However, about, I would say 30 minutes in, you kind of realize that that's mostly window dressing, because you don't interact with those players in any meaningful way whatsoever, so it becomes a bit meh. In addition to that, I tried my best to kind of play this game like another Eden, reading all of the story dialogue and trying to follow along. However, unfortunately for Astral Chronicles, the story is not, I don't want to say it's poorly translated, but the translation is not fantastic, and in my opinion it's overly wordy as well. There's just so much dialogue that's not very good and not very interesting. I assume, and you know what you do when you assume, but I assume that most people that play this game just kind of auto pass through as much of the quest dialogue as they possibly can on their way to the next combat location. And speaking of combat, in my opinion, it doesn't fare that much better. The combat, in my opinion, is just like a jumbled mess. All of your little 2D sprites sit on top of each other and shoot off all of their abilities, so it's just visually just very messy. And I wish they would go back into combat and add a little bit more code to allow the player, or to allow each of your companions not to sit on top of each other. This reminds me of the World of Warcraft a long time ago, where hunters' pets used to always like stand right on top of the player, and it was really annoying. But then Blizzard added some code to make sure that your hunter pet always stood to the right of you. I would love for them to add something like that in this game, where all of the sprites, once they kind of collide with each other, they would slightly move a little bit, so that way you can actually see all of the SSRs that you're pulling in this game. So overall, I didn't really hate the game, but there wasn't really a lot to keep me involved. Like I said, the story wasn't really great, the combat wasn't really great, but I will say the heroes were really well designed, and you know what that means? Exactly. So Astral Chronicles, I still recommend at least giving this one a try, but I don't think I'll be spending much more time in its world. So the next game up is Night Zero, aka the anime version of Brown Dust. Now this is a hero collector, grid-based strategy RPG, but to be honest, I don't really feel like that genre definition fits this game or Brown Dust very well at all, because this game doesn't really have a lot in common with like Fire Emblem or Landgris or Alchemist Code. I mean, this game has like the idea and the flow of like an auto chess game, but with more RPG mechanics. So I don't know what the genre needs to be called, but I do feel like grid-based strategy RPG kind of gives the wrong impression. However, when it comes to Night Zero, I think this game does the genre very well. I highly recommend everyone give this style of game a try. Before I ever played Brown Dust, I was highly intrigued in the whole concept of like setting up my formation and trying to do pre-combat strategy to see how it plays out on the battlefield. However, after about a month of playing the game, I realized it wasn't for me, but you still need to play these games to kind of see you might fit that niche. And if you do, I feel like you're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So this game, really great aesthetic, very cool characters, seem to be very free to play, tons of streamlining and quality of life as well. So between this and Brown Dust, I do feel like you're in some really good company. That is Night Zero. Moving on over to MLA, aka Mobile Legends Adventure, a brand new hero collector idle game based on the MOBA Mobile Legends. Now, I kind of struggled thinking about what I was going to say in regards to this game because in my opinion, this is like the epitome of idle games on mobile. Between this and AFK Arena, if you're an idle game fan, you don't have to look any further. You play one of those games or you play both. However, I was thinking, if you don't like idle games or you played idle games in the past and you're thinking about trying it again, what would I say about MLA to kind of win you over? And I honestly couldn't really think of anything because in my opinion, MLA just takes the idle game format and just polishes the heck out of it. But what does it do like super different? What does it do that's gonna win someone over that's not in love with idle games? And I actually don't know the answer to that question. Maybe the heroes are very colorful, they have a ton of personality and very diverse, but the gameplay is an idle game. So yes, there is some active gameplay, the Labyrinth mode, which I think is pretty cool, but it's not really super engaging if you're used to games like Epic 7 or something like that. So what would I say about MLA to make you give it a try? I don't know, I like it. How about that? So Mobile Legends Adventure, like I said, in my opinion, my favorite idle game out right now. The game is extremely active and it just launched in 5 more countries. So if you tried to check your Play Store or your App Store and it wasn't available, check again tomorrow because the global launch is about to hit, like I said, 5 more countries. So that will do it for MLA. Let's move on. Oh boy, Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I didn't really enjoy my time in this game whatsoever, but I will say that the combat engine was actually pretty decent. So combat basically is you running through dungeons, you tap the screen to attack, you can swipe to dodge. There's 3 different special attacks you can equip to your character that can be swapped out. They can be boosted with talents, etc, etc. So the combat side of the game I thought was fine. It's just everything else that was surrounding the game that just kind of put me in a bad headspace, especially considering that this was an old PC title brought over to mobile and like redone, which means there's a lot of people that don't normally play mobile games that looked at this and said, hey, I remember this game from PC. Let me go ahead and whip out my phone and download this game to see what mobile gaming's all about. Oh, this is what it's all about. So this game has 3 monthly subscription services. There's one for keys, there's one for gems, and then there's a VIP. Now, of course, granted, you don't have to buy all 3 subscription services, but it just kind of puts you in like this bad headspace. Like, really? You couldn't just have like 1 monthly sub for a game? Like, think about this for a second. 3 monthly subs for this game. Compared to like Final Fantasy XIV, ESO, World of Warcraft, they want 3 monthly subs for this game. So people that don't normally play mobile games, I've probably looked at this game trying to give mobile another try. They saw it and was like, what is this malarkey? Yes, malarkey. Word bingo, write it down. So didn't really enjoy my time in this one. I don't think I'll be revisiting this one anytime ever, but hey, no, there is no hey, there's none. Next game. So that will do it for all of the major global launch releases of the month of July. Wait a minute, FG, you missed a few. I sure did. But not to worry, these titles are on the way, starting off with First Summoner, Dr. Mario falling shortly after, and then I'll finally get around to Teppen. Apologies for the delay. So that will do it for all of the global launch titles. Finally, moving on over to future releases, starting off with Send No Alice, which has been basically delayed indefinitely. Nobody has a clue when this game is on the horizon. It was supposed to launch in July. Right now, we're all clueless. Hopefully this is all for the better. Hopefully they take this time and this opportunity to really polish the game up and make its global launch presence felt, but this kind of sucked, but hopefully it's for the better. Nexon, get it together. Now this next one, Gundam Battle, brought to you by Bandai, is hot off the presses. This game just hit the Play Store last night. So if you do want to play this game, go ahead and give this one a shot. I've struggled to get it to work on any emulators, and I also can't get it to work on my phone as well. So I'm going to keep working on it, but until then, go ahead and give this one a try. It's available today. So Pokemon Masters has now been released in a few select countries, and I hope that global launch is on the way, because I have been pre-registered for this game ever since it was first announced, and just last night, via the Google Play Store, they sent me a reminder letting me know that the game was almost ready. They still didn't give me a solid date, but I have to assume that this game is probably here within the next week or so. So be on the lookout, it's coming soon. So that will do it for all of the future and upcoming releases. Let's move on over to the final part of the video, ladies and gentlemen, the quick hits, starting off with Grand Chase. So Grand Chase just had this massive quality of life update, which dramatically changes almost every aspect of the game. So if you played Grand Chase in the past, now is the time to jump back into the game. They have a ton of free goodies. The game plays way better now, and they reset mostly all of the adventure rewards. So you can come back and basically double dip. So if you played before, you can double dip and get all those rewards again the second time. So that's going to do wonders to your account power if you just decide to do that. So Grand Chase brand new update is now underway. Check it out. Kritika is now celebrating a 5-year anniversary with a brand new character class, Archer. I just recently re-downloaded the game to see what all the hype's all about. No game lives for 5 years. That sucks. I hope. Kritika, ladies and gentlemen, 5-year anniversary, brand new character class, the Archer. Landgrisser. So Landgrisser has an upcoming quality of life patch that's scheduled to hit on August the 4th, which is supposed to dramatically reduce the amount of time people spend doing their dailies every single day. Now, this is actually pretty funny. The reason why I stopped playing the game is exactly that reason. This game just drained a ton of time, but what I found that was really funny, in one of the storyline quests, the characters break the fourth wall by saying, wait a minute, this is a mobile game. This is not supposed to take all day like a AAA title. Who knew? Who knew? So hopefully we're gonna see some really big changes here coming August 4th. I don't know all of the details and what all of the different types of ways are gonna reduce the amount of time people are gonna spend playing this game, but fear not, once that update hits, I'll re-download the game and give it a shot and let you guys know how I feel about the new and improved Landgrisser experience. It's too good of a game not to play, but I just didn't have time for that. And starting tomorrow, Grand Summoners is doing a replay collaboration with One Punch Man. I already have the game downloaded, so as soon as this update hits, I'll be back in the game to get really, really sad over my summon. So Grand Summoners One Punch Man collaboration, ladies and gentlemen, looks good. BBS, aka Bleach Brave Souls, is celebrating its 4-year anniversary, and you guys know the deal. Every single time one of these games have an anniversary, it's a perfect opportunity to jump back in the game and get all the free goodies. Now, I covered this game last year at some point. I'm not sure if I'm gonna revisit the game. My Discord currently is just like in love with this game at the moment, so I don't, maybe I will. So Bleach Brave Souls, 4-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of collaborations, there is a collaboration between Brown Dust and Destiny Child and Destiny Child and Brown Dust. It's a dual collaboration inception, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know all of the details on how it works. Apparently, things that you do in one game are going to impact the other game. I don't actually know how they're gonna link all that and verify who did what and how it works. I don't know, but it starts tomorrow. I have both the games downloaded, obviously with Destiny Child. So I'll be there tomorrow recording a video to let you know all of the inner workings of this collaboration, but it looks kind of cool to be honest. Psst, hey kid, you want to make $10,000 real easy? All you gotta do is make a Mobile Legends adventure video. Details on the Facebook, that's all. Now, we just talked about the collaboration between Brown Dust and Destiny Child and Brown Dust and the inception of collaborations, but right in the middle of all that collaboration goodness, Blaze Blue collaboration is going on as well inside Destiny Child. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I like it, and that will do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, my name is FG3000. That was the mobile gaming recap, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.